Pergagasan Perempuan.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Welcome to another inspiring episode of Woman Ways. Today we have a very special guest with us, Maria Wisniewska. Maria is an accomplished journalist and analyst with a rich background of European affairs and international relations. She is currently working at Polish Press Agency, the Poland's national news agency, where she covers international affairs. Maria has also worked as freelance journalist, contributing articles on China and Taiwan to the Polish dailies and magazines. In addition to her journalistic endeavors, she has experience working with the UN Migration in Beijing and holds an impressive academic background in sinologue, EU-Asia relations, and Chinese studies from various prestigious universities. Today, we'll delve into Maria's journey in journalism, discuss the challenges of maintaining integrity in the age of clickbait, and explore the vital role of journalism in women empowerment. So, without any further ado, let's welcome Maria Wisniewska. Hi Maria, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. How are you doing?
Hello Fikri, it's very nice to see you. We met in Taiwan and I am glad if we can stay in touch while you're back to Indonesia. I have to say it's a perfect day for recording because we have a typhoon right now in Taiwan and the government gave everyone one day off. So apart from staying at home, we have not many things to do. So I'm glad to be here with you.
Oh, nice to hear that. I hope you and the other fellows from MOFA Taiwan Fellowship are doing good and safe in Taiwan. Okay, let's dive right in. Can you tell us about your journey in starting a career in journalism? What were the biggest challenges you faced as the female journalist?
I would say that the path that led me to journalism wasn't that straight from the very beginning, from my childhood. Some people know from the very beginning they want to be an astronaut, they want to be a cook. I didn't have this very clear idea until later in my life. Sure, I really liked to spend time with the adults when I was a kid and other kids were playing and listen to the political and societal discussions, but I didn't know that it can change into a career. So I was interested in the international affairs, so I decided that I can study Chinese studies. It will immerse me in a whole new world, a new culture, a new language, new tastes, new behaviors. But at the time, when I finished the studies, I still didn't know what I want to do with that. I did many things after studies. I searched for many internship opportunities connected to diplomacy. So I did an internship at the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, at UN Migration in Beijing. And this is when it started to lead me to journalism. So I had this internship at UN Migration in Beijing in 2019-2020. And this is when it happened. COVID came. And we couldn't go to the office. And because I was just an intern, they didn't give me any work to do at home. So basically, I was alone in the city, not really be able to hang out with friends because it's the epidemic. And I was thinking what I can do with this free time. And at the same time, many people were asking me, "Oh, you're in China. How is it going?" Because the COVID still hasn't spread to the whole world. And I decided that maybe it's a good opportunity to write an article about how everyday life is in China during COVID. I know that right now it sounds cliche and not very interesting because the whole world went through that. So that's not something new to us. But at this time, it was quite interesting for people outside. And I decided to propose to a magazine that I like in Poland, an article that I can write an article about different people and their experience during COVID. So I just called my friends and asked them some simple questions. And that worked. This is how I published my first article. And because I had already one article published in one good magazine, I could publish a second one, and then I could publish a third one. And that is how I slowly built up my portfolio. So for anyone who would like to start a career in journalism, what I would advise is to build slowly your portfolio. You will not get a whole job in journalism straight away. You need to build your portfolio, you need to build experience, you need to build your name. Otherwise, you don't really have chances to get a whole job, a normal, regular job in journalism. But if you slowly build up your portfolio, and it's possible to do even during studies, your position to get into the market and get a regular job in the field is much stronger.
And regarding the second part of your question about the challenges of being a female in journalism, I think they're very similar to being a female anywhere in the job market. So even though I've been already working in journalism for a few years, and I am 29 years old, many people see me as a student when they see me. "Oh, you look very young. Oh, you're still studying." And these are not, I would say these are not questions meant to be evil, but I know that if I look like that to them, they don't treat me as seriously as they would treat probably my male colleague. But I would say it's fine. Don't get discouraged by that, because during work, your looks don't matter that much anymore. And if they do, then seriously, it's their problem, not yours.
Okay, thank you. That is such an inspiring story, Maria. I think you face your challenge in the life very creatively, very thoughtful. It's just like what people say about if life gives you lemon, then you can make a lemonade. And then I think your career as a journalist is your lemonade, right? In your opinion, Maria, how does gender influence the way a journalist covers the news? Have you ever experienced bias or discrimination in your work?
I would say there is quite a big difference between how men and women cover news. At my previous office, we had daily meetings where we were discussing what articles we were gonna write that day. And my male colleagues were very much confident about the importance of their own subjects. And my female colleagues were much more hesitant. But I would say that being hesitant and being a questioning person gives you more critical insight into your subject and makes you a curious person, makes you a person that wants to ask questions. And that is what journalism is about. While being always very confident, it can close your mind and close you in one narrative that might be wrong as well. So I would say that confidence is of course important and you have to build it, but I would say it comes with age. But leaving some room for hesitation is very good if you're a journalist.
Wow, I love your point of view, Maria. And I think it's the same with what I face as a lecturer here. I'm very glad that I get such an opportunity and I can explore my potential, and I also get some permission to do the Taiwan Fellowship this recently and met you. So we kind of face the same thing, and yeah, to be hesitant and also what you're saying are really, really good, and I agree with that. Based on my observation, clickbait has become a part of the modern media landscape. How do you think clickbait affects the quality and trust in journalism?
Of course, clickbait articles are a nightmare for anyone who wants to understand the world in all its subtleties and all its shades. But I would also say that it has its role in the media landscape. Media was always also about grabbing the attention of the reader, of the audience, and clickbait journalism is not really something new. So I wouldn't really fight that. What I would do is to propose an alternative to enlarge the space of quality journalism. I think there is a very big demand in the last few years for fact-checking websites, also because of the rise of clickbait journalism. People want to know what is the truth, what is not. There is definitely demand for longer pieces. Even I saw some statistics last year that the number of books read yearly by Polish people is on the rise. So it goes counterintuitively. We think that the world is much faster and we only want to read faster news. And to some extent it's true, but to some extent it leaves space, it creates a demand for longer forms. And I think this is what anyone interested in promoting quality journalism can do. There is no point of fighting clickbait. What is important to enlarge the space for quality.
Okay, enlarge the space of quality, right? You're amazing. That's amazing statement. According to you, how has your experience working in different countries and international organizations shaped your perspective on journalism and news integrity?
Working in different countries and different cultural environments has definitely widened my horizons. And I think it's especially important to journalists because we explain in a way the reality. So we should be more accurate, more empathetic in describing the world. But people often use their own perspective, their own values, their own priorities, and impose it on other people. So I have a good example that illustrates that, how imposing that can be a cognitive trap. In 2022 or 23, there were big protests in China against the restrictive COVID lockdowns, much more restrictive than in other parts of the world. They happened in many cities and gathered people from different backgrounds. And the reaction to that in Western media was that it is going to be the next revolution, it is going to change the systematic trajectory of China, and this kind of hopeful headlines were plenty in media. But of course, as we know, it didn't really change much. And even though we don't know, maybe it planted some seed of rebellion that will grow in the future. For now, we don't have any proof for that. So living abroad has definitely taught me that in order to accurately convey the situation in other countries, you have to kind of get in the mind of people who live there and not impose our own beliefs on that, because this is just bad journalism.
May I ask further, can you share an example of an experience where you had to face pressure to create attention-grabbing news versus maintaining truth and integrity?
Yes, I have a good example of how you can do something that's equally attention-grabbing, but also preserves the quality of journalism. So I was asked by my editor to write about the China's role in the fentanyl crisis in the United States. Fentanyl is this very powerful drug, an opioid, that is the main cause of the death of young people in the USA. So it's a very, very big societal problem. And there have been some reports that China plays a big role in that because it produces the chemical that are used in producing the drug. Some even say that China does that on purpose, that it uses fentanyl as a tool to undermine the United States. Some publicists even say that it is a revenge for the opium wars in China in the 19th century. So I had big hesitations about whether I should write a piece about it or not, because I didn't want to just repeat a narrative present in Western media while I wasn't sure if that's really the case. So when I was writing the piece, I discovered that yes, China does produce the chemicals used in synthesizing the drugs, but those chemicals are also used to produce such simple medicaments as pills for allergy or pills for diarrhea. So the narrative that China produces chemicals for fentanyl is much more blurry and much more nuanced than what I previously read in media. So what I learned from that is that you shouldn't really escape controversial topics, because anyway people will read about them, and maybe the topic might seem as attention grabbing and a cheap topic, but when writing a piece you can discover that the reality is much more nuanced and much more complicated, and that's fine. You can also write about this. So I would say don't avoid attention-grabbing headlines. Just write so that you can feel integrity when you finish the article.
Wow, amazing. I really like how you deal with the controversial topic, Maria. I think it could be an example, good example, or maybe tips for the other journalists in Indonesia, not only for women, but also for men in general. Thank you very much for sharing that experience. Okay, Maria, next one. How do you see the future of journalism in this digital age? Are you optimistic about the industry's ability to overcome the challenges of clickbait? For me, myself, as a lecturer and also the former journalist, I think I am more critical than optimistic actually, because I can still see the bright future of the journalism in the digital age, but I still need to criticize how the journalists try to lure the audience or the readers to read by making such clickbait for their news.
I am not a pessimist, and I would say that the future of media is bright. Maybe I'm not an optimistic either, but I am definitely not a person who sees the future in very dark colors. Because we have proof that the modern technology really allowed media to flourish. One example is podcasts, where you can have in-depth discussion, invite experts, and this is a very good example of quality journalism. A second example is newsletters. Many people who are doing podcasts are also doing newsletters, and it allows you to have customized emails about the topic that interests you. I myself am an avid Reddit reader. This is a confession, and I think it's really great. When I entered Reddit, at first I thought it's going to be this aggressive, anonymous environment, but I really actually recommend it to everyone. You can have very nerdy questions and connect with other nerds, and it is fantastic. It is also a form of media, a media where that people participate in creating. It's really, really cool. But of course, there are dangers of technology, and we can see it on Twitter, where AI pictures look almost real to us, and we are young, and still it's difficult for us to discern an AI picture from a real picture. So you can imagine how an old person is lost in this landscape. But this is an area for regulators, and we definitely need a lot more regulations. And this will be a problem, of course, because technology makes progression much faster than regulators do. So this is a big challenge for the years ahead.
Yeah, I agree that it is challenging and we need more regulation. Anyways, I was not really related to the Reddit reading thing because I think it is forbidden in Indonesia. So yeah, I'm curious actually though. Okay, next one. I think it is also the last question from me. What is the significant role of journalism in empowering women, and how can we ensure more women are involved in this industry?
As I said before, I think women have a lot of qualities that are very important in journalism, like having a critical mind and being a person who is questioning the world. So I think that women have a big role to play in journalism. I don't know how it is in Indonesia, but I know, for example, in Poland there is a problem of inviting women experts to radio shows or TV programs. That if a host invites a woman, a high chance is that she will reject the invitation because she will fear that she's not good enough for this program. While from what I hear, it doesn't happen often to men who are invited to the program. So they just jump at the first occasion to be in the media. So there is a big confidence problem among women, and I pled guilty as well. I think I need to work on my confidence a lot. And I think what always helps me to build it up is to speak with other women who are more experienced than me and who tell me about their own struggles with their careers and how was the path that led them to be such a beautiful, accomplished person, that it wasn't always like that, they weren't always confident and good speakers, that this is something they built up. So I think that women's solidarity and women sharing experience between each other is very important to encourage young people, especially young women.
Wow, thank you. I think women solidarity, that's the keywords, right, Maria? Okay, thank you so much, Maria, for sharing your insights and your experience with us today. It's been truly enlightening, and I hope we can have another discussion with you in the future. Thank you so much. To our audiences, we hope you find this podcast as insightful as we do. And remember that media shape our understanding of the world. So please seek out the authentic and trustworthy information only. And don't forget to cultivate the women's solidarity, just as what Maria has said before. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned to the other episode of Women Ways. Wassalamualaikum and goodbye.